It was a fantastic goal and one that is already drawing comparisons to a Barcelona great of the past in Lionel Messi. Estevao and Yamal are probably going to be the next Messi and Ronaldo. The one that shone brightest last night was Chelsea's 18-year-old. Hello and welcome to Sun Sports Chelsea YouTube channel. I'm Jack Rosser, one of the Chelsea reporters here at The Sun, speaking to you on the morning after a night before that will live long in the memory for many Chelsea fans. It's a huge week for Enzo Maresca and his team. Barcelona and Arsenal coming to the bridge in the space of just a few days, and it couldn't have got off to a better start, really. There's plenty to dig into here. What a big result. What a moment of confidence building that was for Chelsea. Estevao Yamal, how that all played out in rather spectacular fashion. Marc Cucurella as well, standing up, putting in a man of the match performance, and where the Blues go from here. There's only one place to start, really. All of the fans heading out of Stamford Bridge last night, the talk in the press room afterwards was all about one 18-year-old, and maybe not the 18-year-old we all thought it might have been before the game. This was Estevao Williams' first chance really on an international stage to start and show exactly what he's made of, and he did just that. The goal he scored in the second half to make it 2-0 with Barcelona down to 10 men will never really be forgotten by the Chelsea fans that were there last night. A fantastic little run showing not only quality but strength to go past the defender Pau Cubarsí and then rocket it in at the near post past Joan Garcia. It was a fantastic goal and one that is already drawing comparisons to a Barcelona great of the past in Lionel Messi. And it may sound ridiculous. It often always sounds ridiculous when somebody picks an 18-year-old out and goes, is this the next Lionel Messi? Especially when they're playing against Barcelona and you remember all the things he did in fixtures like this. But a goal like that, then I think there's credibility in making that comparison. It was put to Enzo Maresca in his press conference where he sort of shuffled away from it. But speaking to one of the TV channels last night, he did say that Estevao and Yamal are probably going to be the next Messi and Ronaldo. And whoever you think is best out of those two absolute greats of the game, the one that shone brightest last night was Chelsea's 18-year-old, a few months older than his Barcelona counterpart, who was marked out of the game by Marc Cucurella and cut a very frustrated figure, really. Barcelona and Yamal made a fairly bright start. They created an early chance that Ferran Torres should really have put away after Chelsea lost the ball deep in their own half and teed that chance up for the visitors, but they couldn't convert that, and it sort of started going backwards from there, really. Yamal was a peripheral figure for most of the night, getting a few tugs on his shirt here and there, being tripped every now and then by Pedro Neto or his international teammate Marc Cucurella. And the frustration grew up. There were loud cheers from the Chelsea fans when Yamal was subbed. He looked incredibly frustrated, shaking his head as he slumped into the bench in front of us in the press box at Stamford Bridge. But Estevao Williams, the reaction couldn't have been more different when he was replaced nearing the end of the game. A standing ovation for Chelsea's teenage sensation, who really, whenever these big moments come along, seems to take his opportunity to do so. He's not had as many starts as he would have liked, of course, and Maresca and his coaches have got to protect a precocious talent like this, not give him too much game time and run him into the ground. But whenever he does get a little moment, whether it's off the bench against Liverpool to score the winner or in these Champions League games now, only Haaland and Mbappe have scored in their first 3 Champions League starts as a player, and Estevao now joins that club. He scored against Ajax at the Bridge, in Qarabag in that frustrating draw, and of course the goal that capped it all, that one against Barcelona last night. So now the talk will turn to whether he starts against Arsenal as well. Maresca said it's not about him as a player or his qualities or whether he can do it in these big games. For him, it's about the specific game plan. We've seen Maresca use the game plan he did last night in a number of big games. He did it against PSG, shuffling Reece James into midfield. He did it against Bayern Munich, the game they lost, the opening game of this Champions League campaign. Even though they did play well in Munich, they were punished on that night. They certainly weren't last night when he used a similar game plan. The only difference between that Bayern Munich game and the one last night is that Estevao was in that Cole Palmer position, really, with Cole Palmer still out injured, and he really took his opportunity and did an incredible job of it. And now obviously thoughts will turn to that Arsenal game. You'd like to think the players have been given 2 days off to recover. They're going in for a couple of recovery sessions, but not having to train properly. You'd like to think Estevao will have no issues in being fit and ready to face that. He looked like he had a little knock a few minutes before coming off in the Barcelona game, but looked fine as he walked off when he was eventually replaced towards the end. And really, given what a big night that was last night, Arsenal is the even bigger game. That's the one they've got to turn to and really put a gauntlet down, really. They can cut Arsenal's lead in half with a win and really push themselves into the title race. Maresca this time last year, they were around second this time last year, and this is about when he started saying we cannot compete in a title race. Well, if they go and beat Arsenal this weekend, cut that gap to 3 points, then they certainly can't be saying that, really. They are in a title race. Whether they've got a bigger squad, they've got more experience, they've got confidence from winning the Conference League, the Club World Cup. Maresca spoke about that last night, and the players have been speaking about that, how that moved them up a gear, really, and allowed them to stand a touch taller, beating PSG in the final in America in the summer. They've now got these results over Liverpool, albeit slightly not as impressive given what Liverpool are doing everywhere else in the Premier League. But Barcelona is the one they will cling to, and what momentum it gives them going into this game. Before we go too far ahead and just think about Arsenal, a couple of other notable mentions for last night. The midfield were fantastic. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez absolutely everywhere. Fernandez scoring 2 of those disallowed goals that Chelsea kept racking up. It could have been even more of a bloodbath, really, for Barcelona if those goals had stood. But Marc Cucurella is the one who stands out, really. He spoke to us in the media on Monday before the game, saying and joking, really, that he'd asked Estevao to stick some shin pads on so he could kick him up in the air in training to prepare for Yamal. There wasn't too much of that rough treatment. I don't think he wasn't, dragging him into a purely physical contest. It was just a superb, energetic performance from Marc Cucurella, the like of which we've come to expect from Chelsea's left back. He's obviously been on a significant journey since joining him for big money from Brighton, not really trusted by fans and managers at times, thought it was a waste of money, and now he's just developing into this leader, somebody that can set the tone with his energy, his commitment, and also his quality. He rightfully walked away with the Man of the Match trophy last night, despite the heroics of Estevao with that fantastic goal. It was the graft and grift of Marc Cucurella that helped shut down Barcelona. It wasn't just Yamal that struggled. Rashford barely did anything when he came on. Obviously, Araujo getting a rather silly 2 yellow cards and being sent off. But what a disciplined performance from Marc Cucurella, something that infected the rest of the side as well, really. It was impressive how once they got control, once they've started putting the pressure on, they never really relented. It was not a case of get ahead and sit back. The controlled aggression was fantastic. Chelsea didn't let too many chances slip at all, and there was never a fear, really, that Barcelona were going to get back into it at half-time. Once they were a goal down, a man down, Chelsea put the foot down. A fantastic goal from Estevao, and then a really big, important moment for Liam Delap as well. Enzo Fernandez showing the selflessness to square for Chelsea's number 9, who's not scored a goal yet this season. His only goal for the club coming at the back end of last year in the Club World Cup. So after all the injury and frustration, what a moment for Liam Delap to get a goal as well now. And the big message from Chelsea now will be keep that momentum up. This is almost the standard now. This is what you've got to do. We can't be throwing in performances like they did against Brighton, Sunderland. This is the level we know you're capable of, and start producing it on a regular basis, starting with Arsenal, where they can really ramp the Premier League title race to a new level.